This week we begin to work with something we call case study or case method. Case method developed a little over 100 years ago in the late 19th century with the study of law. Rather than simply talking about theory in law school, they began to utilize actual cases, actual court cases in law school to concretize and make real law and its various applications in theory. It spread to business schools and other professional schools throughout the 20th century, made its way into theological contexts about 45 or 50 years ago. The thing about a case study is the idea of taking real, actual experience, framing it into a closed system, and using that as a place to explore the various dimensions and dynamics that go into ministerial life and leadership. So that's what we're headed to with the development of a case study. Each of you have been through either field education, BIBM 629, or you've had some real concrete ministry experience. Many of you actually are in ministry today, so there are plenty of things that you've experienced that can serve as a basis for developing and writing a case study. So what are we talking about? We're talking about taking an actual experience out of your ministry context that you yourself have been a part of, an actual situation, an episode or a series of episodes or events that come out of your own experience of ministry. Not just any experience, but rather an experience that presents a situation where you found yourself in a dilemma or a crisis or a place where there's great uncertainty about what the next step might be. A good case presents a situation that doesn't have an easy answer. And so the reader of a case is presented with a dilemma that creates a place to ponder over what makes for good ministry. So that's what we're after here in the writing of a case. Several things to consider as you write that case. A good case leaves the reader with enough information to understand who's involved, a sense of timing and chronology, that there's enough information given to identify the basic issues that are presented in the case, and enough information to get a sense of the different points of view that might be a part of the dilemma. Make sure that you don't make yourself the superstar in this. Write in a very objective way as you tell the story of the episode or the event or the crisis. Make sure that you make it, as you write it, that you're developing a real crisis or situation that comes out of your ministry context. And make sure you utilize various resources that help the reader work with the case. That if there's vivid dialogue, give them dialogue. Offer some sense of what people are doing, their body language. Use good verbs that communicate clearly not just what is said, but the way in which it is said. And then a case will close out with a clear question or questions that reflect the dilemma, the minister's dilemma that's being presented in the case. You want to keep it short and concise. We're not talking about a novel here. 4 pages double-spaced is plenty. Reflect an interest in confidentiality, change names and places so that we're not able to easily recognize where this all took place. Don't let us know what you actually did or how you responded. Leave us in a quandary. Leave us with a dilemma so that we're able to ask the question at the end of the case, how should the minister respond? If you do those things, you'll create a compelling case that will be useful to us throughout the course of the semester.